everybody, welcome back to a new video of mine and welcome to my first ever drive with me, where I remember when I was going to take my own license, I watched every drive with me video on YouTube, people talking about the driving in test and watching mock tests and everything. So I thought I was going to make a drive with me, and where I also talk about my experience getting my driver's license. So yeah, let's get started. I never reverse park in here, and I'm not gonna hit that trash. Yeah, my driving instructor was nice, but she didn't really help me or remember what we did. So I'm very grateful my dad was there to help me and to like really practice. So, and then also I had a mock exam. I didn't have to, it wasn't mandatory to have one, but I decided, well, why not? So I got a different instructor from my school, pretend like it was my driving test. He was very professional. I wish I had him all the time. He was like the best. He was like just like my dad, like very strict, but very nice, and had very good like tips and tricks for things and like to get you remember things. And so I met up with him. I went out to drive. The test went very good. He had a few things like they write down. He would have passed me, but he wrote down some few notes like, when you're on your real test, pay attention to this and this and this. Remember also, because my best friend, if you know Victoria, she was also having the same driver instructor, and I think she was having the same mock driving instructor. He took you up to this car park. It's just bricks, and the only thing knowing where you have to park, like the lines, were of a bit darker brick. But this car park was like 100 years old, so the darker brick had like faded. So when you were driving to the spot, you were like, I think he did this on purpose. Drove to it, I was like, oh, I want to have that spot is mine, that bit. So you ought to be parked into it, and you're like, when you look in the mirror, you're like, where's the line? Because the sun hitting it, the line has disappeared. So that was a fun thing. He did that on Victoria and on me. It went all right, but I was like, I remember I was like parked and I was like, I don't see the line anymore. I was like, is this okay? And he was like, I don't choose. You just have to, you can fix your parking. Just tell me when it's okay. And I was like, I don't see the line. Like, I can park, but preferably if I see the line or the bay I'm going into. So I drove forward, positioned myself, backed into it again, and I was like, okay, I'm done. He was like, okay, let's try. And then he passed me, but at the end he was like, yeah, the first time you were a bit on the line, and then you repositioned yourself, and then you were perfect. And I was like, oh thank God, because I didn't see shizzle. Hey, we're back. Got myself a yogurt, a gum, a coffee, Pepsi of course. If you know me, you know that we love a little Pepsi, don't we? I could probably, oh now it's starting to rain a little bit. Okay, but we are going, so we don't mind the rain, because we are waterproof human beings in a waterproof car. At the day of my driving test, before my actual exam, I had an hour driving. So I make my way to the bus, because I'm taking the bus to my first lesson and to my then same place driving test. What happens, as I'm walking down, I get a message. From who, you might ask? From my driving instructor. You know, the lady I told you about who was nice but didn't really help me learn how to drive? Yeah, her. And she wrote something like this. Hello. Do your best on your driving test. Just drive as normal. This will go just fine. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today. Good luck. And I was like, what? What? You're the one that I'm meeting now? What? I'm traveling to meetings or having my first lesson before the test with you. How are you sending me this message now? How do I go back home? Do I not have a test? Where's the car? Where am I going to find the car? So I called the office. Hello, my instructor just texted me that she's ill. I'm supposed to meet her and I have my driving test today, so I mean, we can't really cancel. other guy is gonna be there for you. I was like, oh, thank God. And who's the guy that is there? Oh, it's my favourite man. You know, the one I had my mock exam with, which is strict and very nice and reminds me of my father. That's him. I get so happy. I have my first, like, the practice drive thing. It goes very beautifully. I have my actual driving test. If you watch all this when you're not interested in driving tests and you've got your license, then well done on you. I'll get a man, nice young man, who's going to be my test examinator. He is wearing an iPad strapped to his thigh to be able to write comments, and that's so funny. It's like, we go off to driving. He asks me very early on, do you want to chat with me or do you want me to be silent? And I say, I want you to be silent. I didn't say that. I was like, oh, I don't want to chat. He just told me directions. They have like 5 driving appointments per day. So I had the last one. So I was right at peak traffic in the middle of everybody going home from work. The traffic was a little crack-crack. But we drove to the city. I didn't know the route, of course, beforehand. One thing that I hadn't practiced was driving into a parking garage. So he was just like, go into this parking garage. And I was like, okay. I was like, oh, I've never been in a parking garage. Went perfectly smooth, parked there, went out, drove back to my test centre. As I think I drove for like a half an hour maybe. And I remember I was gonna bay park, and there was a lot of students sitting with their examinator watching me park, and I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna park. So I bay parked in perfectly, and he said to me, I'm gonna write a few things on my thigh iPad. You can have some thoughts with yourself. You can tell me how you think it went. And I was like, and then he was like, you're passed. And I was like, oh. I remember sitting there before he told me when he was going to make his driving notes. I was like, the driving test is so scary because it's like pass or fail. If I don't pass, I fail. And if I don't fail, I pass. It's like, I have to do this again. I was like, it's now or never. It's now or never. It's a pass. And I was like, oh, yes! So that was a really happy thing. You take from this, the things that I want you to think about is, if you live in a country where you have to take a written exam before being allowed to take your physical like driving test, please do that before you start with an instructor, if you are as lucky as me to have a car around you and someone to practice with. That's my tip, because a lot of students here don't do that and they know how to drive but they fail their written test a million times. But oh my god, I don't see anything. It's so foggy. Are you kidding people? You know when you're skiing and you're like, I see half a meter in front of me? In front of me? This is how I feel. Interesting. Intriguing. A new way of driving this mountain here. I watch too much Australian YouTubers and I can feel it in my accent. I'm gonna make sure Lauren comes here because it's so foggy we can't see shizzle. And we all know that people can't back the cars. So if there's anyone that has to back a car up this mountain, it has to be me. When I think about the things you do for me, I know that I am so much. There's a spot here where I always have to wait. This is the spot. Now I'm driving. If anybody's coming up, they gotta freaking back the way down. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit. They never thank me. They never do like a thank. I don't doubt you people actually driving in this weather though. Well, people drive in all weathers, but there used to be, like, normally there's many people here if anyone is driving here. And now it's just me and a lonely mountain with the rain and the overcast. It's so overcast, but it's quite nice overcast. Oh my god, I can't see anything, people. You can't see anything. When I think about the way we used to be, when I think about the things you do to me, Or is that dead birds? I have no idea. When you know when you drive past things, you're like, oh, that's a sheep. Oh, it's a stone. When you put your hands in mine. There's no one at the beach though. Why would there? So I have made it to where I'm gonna be now, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video. It's been rainy, it's been talkative, but I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will be making more videos if you like them. So yeah, until next time people, bye! 'Cause I just wanna call my friends and see what they